I can't wait to meet our next guest, so let's not delay and join him now. Hello, Dr. Schubel. Thank you for joining us.
So nice to see you. Great to be here with you today.
I hear you have an interesting story. What I understand is, though you primarily now live in the United States, your chiropractic offices are actually in South America. How did this come about and why?
Well, what happened was in 1995, I was in my last year of chiropractic school. So I wanted to do some mission work, some chiropractic mission work.
Yeah.
And there was a doctor, Dr. Walter Sanchez at DE, that was just opening up an office in Lima, Peru. And he said, why don't you come down, work for me for a year. You'll learn Spanish, you'll see tons of people, get a lot of experience, and then you can come back and practice in Florida, where you'll be a bilingual speaker, which will be tremendously beneficial for you. And you'll be an expert chiropractic adjuster. It'll work out great for everybody, win-win. So I went down to Lima, Peru, and I remember getting off the plane in Lima, Peru, and saying, this is either the biggest mistake I ever made in my life or the best thing I ever did in my life.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in life, big decisions are just like that. They're either big mistakes or they're things that catapult you to great success. And I started taking care of people in this chiropractic office in Lima, Peru. And one day, I get a knock on the door, and it's two Peruvian police officers.
Whoa.
And they say, are you Dr. Schubel? I say, yes, I am. Well, how good is this? People already know who I am. I must be a big deal in this country. And they say, yes, sir, we have a warrant out for your arrest. Well, you can imagine my stomach went right down into my feet, and I was scared to death because I had heard of Peruvian jails. It's definitely no picnic.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And I said to him, first thing I said to him, I said, there must be some mistake here. What's the warrant about? And he said, the warrant is that you're practicing medicine without a license. And I said, well, there's definitely a mistake. And I turned around and started walking. I said, follow me. And I walked back into the office. And I said, you know, you've been under medical care probably since birth, is that correct? And they said, yes. I said, well, what does a medical doctor normally do? Well, he'll write a prescription for some kind of drug, some kind of medicine, some kind of pharmaceutical. Correct. Do you see any pharmaceuticals in this office? Do you see any drugs in this office? Do you see any prescription pads in this office? Well, no, I don't. Okay. Well, what's the other thing that medical doctors normally do? Well, they'll give us shots, an injection of some kind. Okay, well, do you see any hypodermic needles in this office? Go ahead, take a look around. No, there aren't. Are there? No. Well, what's the other thing that medical doctors do? Well, they operate on you. Okay, do you see any scalpels in this office? Do you see any operating equipment in this office? No, you don't. Okay, very good. So the policeman is looking rather confused at this point, and he says, well, I don't understand. What is it that you do, Dr. Schubel? And I said, good question. Lay down. And so I had him lay down on my adjusting table, and I checked his spine for vertebral subluxation. I found some big vertebral subluxations there, and I gave him a specific chiropractic adjustment, and he got up off the table, and he was just looking completely relaxed, completely almost in a state of ecstasy from that chiropractic adjustment because his power was turned on. And then the person that was with him, the other police officer, said, could you check me? Because he saw the reaction of his friend. He said, would you mind checking my spine? I said, sure. So I laid him down and I adjusted them. And when they got up off the table, I looked at both of them square in the eye and I said, listen, it was almost like out of that Star Wars movie. You remember with the droids? These are not the droids you're looking for. I basically used that same line and I said, apparently there's been some mistake. I'm not practicing medicine without a license. I think that's obvious. Yes, doctor, I think that's obvious. We must have made a mistake. And they walked out the door. And that night I got a call from the dean of the medical college who had put the warrant out for my arrest. And he said, you know, you tricky American, you're trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the Peruvian people, you know, with this chiropractic thing. And I said, listen, you're the tricky guy. You're the guy who's trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the Peruvian people. You know very well that chiropractic is not the practice of medicine. And the medical doctor took away that warrant because I challenged him to go on national television. I said, look, we'll go on television and we'll debate. And at the end of that debate, I am sure you're going to be looking like a fool when everyone sees that I'm obviously not practicing medicine without a license, and what you're practicing is protectionism on a commercial sense.
You now have a number of chiropractic offices in South America, is that correct?
Now we have 14 chiropractic offices in Lima, Peru. We have one chiropractic office in Bogota, Colombia. We'll be opening up another one very soon. And we have 3 chiropractic offices in the Dominican Republic, and we'll be opening up 3 more very soon.
Wow.
So chiropractic is on the move worldwide. And once again, the reason why it's growing so rapidly is because we provide something that no other profession in the world provides. We are the only doctors in the world that are highly trained to analyze, detect, and adjust vertebral subluxation.
In South America, do they truly understand chiropractic?
When we explain the chiropractic story, they say, well, that makes common sense. That's common sense to me. Of course, if you have a spine and you have a nerve system, of course you have to make sure it's clear from any kind of interference. Of course you have to maintain the spinal column. That makes total sense, just like your teeth. If you want to have healthy teeth, of course you have to maintain the health of those teeth by regular visits to a dentist. Chiropractic is really no different. And we in the United States have, in some way, been brainwashed by the pharmaceutical industry to believe that the only time that we should ever seek out any type of care is when we have a symptom, a disease, or some kind of pain. And tragically, it's that mindset that is bankrupting this country because we're not focusing on health. We're focusing on disease and treatment of symptoms.
So it sounds like they don't have a preconceived notion of chiropractic as many of us do in the United States. Is that correct?
They don't have the preconceived notions because chiropractors in other parts of the world are not advertising back pain and neck pain. Many times with the insurance industry, in the United States, for example, the insurance industry only pays for back pain, treatment of back pain, treatment of neck pain, treatment of some kind of musculoskeletal condition. The insurance company many times will not pay for chiropractic care for maintenance, for, hey, why are you going to the chiropractor? Well, I feel great. I want to continue feeling great. Sorry, the insurance company won't pay for that. So chiropractors and chiropractic patients have started to look at chiropractic as more of a musculoskeletal treatment rather than what it really is a way to maintain the spine and nervous system functioning optimally. So in Latin America, there is no private health insurance for the most part. So people understand that obviously if you're going to maintain your spine and nervous system functioning optimally, you have to do that with a chiropractor. Whether insurance covers it or whether insurance doesn't cover it, you have to do it if you want to maintain your health in its optimal condition.
Besides chiropractic, how do they look at living a more natural, healthier lifestyle?
I think they have a better understanding of the impact that poor health can have on your lifestyle. So they invest in a healthy lifestyle because they realize the benefits that that's going to create in their job, in their time with their family, and certainly in avoiding the hospital. I mean, that is not a place you want to be, in a Peruvian hospital. So they have a tendency to invest more in their health.
It seems, Dr. Schubel, you have a mission in life or a vision. Can you share that with us?
Well, I have a very clear vision, and it is this. There are 7 billion people on the planet, and I envision a day when every man, woman, and child on the planet is checked for vertebral subluxation and adjusted when necessary from birth. Because I feel, I mean, this is so incredible to me that if you could think about every single person that's in your life being checked for vertebral subluxation and instantly having those adjustments and that nerve system cleared of interference, can you imagine what kind of world we live in? We'd start functioning more in alignment with the universe and more alignment in loving, giving, and serving other people. And as a patient, you're one of the most crucial people in this vision. And I'll tell you why. There is nothing like you describing what your experience is to other people in chiropractic. That's, I think, the most powerful thing in chiropractic, is a patient who understands chiropractic and who understands the importance and vitality of this mission and vision and is out there actively bringing more people into a chiropractic office and bringing about this world that we want to see, and that is a world functioning at its optimal potential.
We're out of time, but I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's been a real pleasure.
I think that's a vision we can all share. And to make it a reality, it simply takes spreading the word of chiropractic with those around us. And maybe one by one, we can create a nation, if not a world, of optimum health and happiness.